2 days of preparation. And these are truly the best students in the state. You know, this is our county honor band, but I challenge you to find many better kids in this entire state. Tonight's program is going to be professionally recorded. And by the way, if you didn't get a chance, those are for sale for only $10. And that's really a great bargain for a wonderful memory for your child to have. Those are on sale in the lobby. But in that regard, would you please make sure that your cell phones are silenced? And if you know, an emergency arises, if you just step out, if something like that happens. We're going to begin our program tonight. As any good band program should begin, and that's with the Star Spangled Banner. Would you please stand and welcome Miss Emily Parker as she conducts the band in our national anthem.
Thank you.
Good evening. We continue our program this evening with Newcastle March by Johnny Benson, retired director of bands at Auburn University. Johnny Benson is internationally recognized as an outstanding composer and arranger. Please enjoy the traditional British march style of Newcastle March, conducted by Miss Jenny Merritt.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Asian Folk Rhapsody is a compilation of 3 melodies representative of the Orient. The first is a brisk melody from China entitled The Bamboo Flute. The second is a Japanese chorale known as sakura, which translates to cherry blossoms. Many of you may remember that the cherry blossoms at our nation's capital were actually a gift from Japan. The final portion is a traditional Korean folk song, and this is the fastest of the 3. It involves a rhythmic section building to 5 layers, followed by a dynamic ending. This piece was chosen as a multicultural selection and a representative festival selection. Please remember, since there's a slight pause between each tune, hold your applause until the end of the entire piece. Now, please welcome Michael Aycock, Director of Bands at New Hope Middle and High School.
James Swearingen is one of the most prolific writers of band music today. In Quiet Times is one of Mr. Swearingen's latest compositions. Please welcome Donald Downey from Monrovia Middle as the all-county band plays In Quiet Times.
Our next piece, Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy, is a staple of the big band era, and it features our trumpet section. Written in swing style, this piece introduces new rhythms and chords to the players and listeners alike. Tonight, we feature the following trumpet soloists: Ripper Screenez, Lance Lindner, Kelsey Jacobs, and Ellie Hyatt. Please hold your applause for each of these solos and go in quick succession. And now please welcome to the stage Marcia Asquith as she conducts Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy.
Here we go. Two of our nation's beloved hymns are combined in this next arrangement entitled A Nation's Prayer by James Boyhart. Both of these hymns, God of Our Fathers and Battle Hymn of the Republic, capture the spirit of this country and appeal to the patriotic fervor in the heart of every citizen. This arrangement is a tribute to those who have served and to those that continue to serve this nation. Please welcome Ms. Leah Leong, Band Director of Buckhorn Middle, as she directs the next piece. This is our 7th year of doing this annual honor band, and we would be amiss if we weren't able to thank Mr. Solly, member of the central office who has supported this the entire time we've done this. Mr. Solly, are you here? He had emailed me and told me he planned to come, and I know there's a big game next door in the gym, so he might have had to go peek in at the gym, but he supports us so much that he's enabled us to keep doing this year after year, and he takes care of the buses and the band directors being able to be out of school, and we're very thankful for his support in allowing us to do this for our students here in the county. It's very lucky that we can do such a fine group, honor group for these students and keep it local, and we appreciate all your support as well. We have the shirt from Mr. Solid that we'll get to him, and we're going to continue on with the concert. We have one final piece, and Ms. Leong is going to introduce.
There are a few iconic musicians that we recognize throughout history that changed the face of music with their style. Bach and Mozart pushed musical composition and instrumental performance that had never been achieved. Sousa brought bands into a place of prominence through the popularity of the march. Michael Jackson is the face of pop music and continues to influence pop musicians today. The band will now perform a medley of Jackson's iconic songs, Man in the Mirror, I'll Be There, and Thriller. Please welcome Mr. Steve Price and enjoy our concert finale, The King of Pop.
I told you, the best students in the state. And guys, 2 days. You know, we basically put together a great spring concert in 2 days. So these kids did awesome. That is all we have for tonight, but we do need to keep them up here for about 5, 6, 7 minutes to help us put away equipment. And then they will be out to you for pictures and photo ops because we know you're going to want those. While you're waiting and they're putting these things away, CDs are on sale right outside for $10. I know you're going to want to have one of these for them to keep. Thank you so much for coming out and supporting music in our schools. Have a great evening.